Is it just me, or does it seem like AAA titles are becoming like Oscar award winners? Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sega Forever, all-in channel here. Just a quick video, something I was kind of thinking about. I was just gonna do like a quick little Instagram video, but I decided to sit down at the computer and actually do this content for my channel since I need to put stuff up. Um, and I got a couple other videos I'm working on right now. Trying to get used to this new format. It's not that it's difficult, man. It's just getting everything in check, man. Respect to those guys who've been doing this stuff for a long time. They put in the work. I definitely don't put in the work. It's not that I don't want to, like I told you guys before. And I'll do a channel update speaking of where I'm at as far as all-in channel is concerned. Um, yeah, so I mean, it's a process, right? So yeah, but kudos to guys who can do this stuff on the fly, man. I definitely can't. And I actually got to sit down and get my thoughts kind of together. Usually write them down, but I am doing this off the, like I said, off the cuff because I was actually going to just do a quick video for Instagram, put it out there. Um, but as you guys know, man, the Oscars was like about a couple weeks ago, and I don't watch the Oscars anymore. As you guys know, I'm a pop culture channel on top of being a pro Xbox channel, man. I grew up in pop culture, been a fan of movies, games, comic books, the whole, the whole nine. And we're living in a time where this stuff is kind of crescendoed, right? I mean, when I was growing up, it was like a nerd thing to do it, or it wasn't an important thing to do. There's way more important things that you can focus your time and energy on. But the industry's changed, man. I mean, across the board, all genres when it comes to pop culture, right? It's popular, which is interesting. It's like back in the day, it's kind of ironic when you say pop culture because it was popular in a different version. Now it's actually popular in the sense of it's popular amongst a lot of people. But with that comes a lot of the problems. With any industry, man. And again, comic books is going through this. Entertainment is going through this. And I'm talking the movie industry, television, all of it. Music, somewhat. Music's a little bit different because there's different avenues that musics have been able to explore. They went through their little thing back in the late 90s, early 2000s, where the industry kind of got rocked by the digital industry. But now it's kind of settled down and it's found its place. And with technology being the way it is, you can find music anywhere, any place, especially if you're like me and you like a variety of genres. So it's all good on that front. But everything else, man, it seems like they're just catching up, and it's easy to make comparisons between all of these genres in some form or another. And for me, the comparison I'm making today again is AAA titles in the gaming industry being applied to the AAA titles, i.e., the Oscar-nominated movies that a lot of people supposedly love. Right, and we all know that's a farce, right? Because the majority of people do not go and watch, or the general public don't watch a lot of these Oscar-nominated movies. Now, I'm not saying that the movies themselves aren't great, um, or that they don't serve some type of purpose or function um, in the movie industry, right? I mean, it's always good to have high-quality art and entertainment. It's just unfortunate that a lot of the high-quality art and entertainment isn't consumed on a level uh, that the industry would need to survive. I mean, this is why you have your Avengers. This is why you have your Justice Leagues. Right? This is why you have you know your Fast and Furious and movies like that. That's the movies that the general public, for a myriad of reasons. I can't sit down and get into all of that right now, man. That's a whole other video. For a myriad of reasons, partake of it as opposed to watching something that's considered high art or AAA or the Oscars in movie. And that's interesting because gaming always wanted to do that. The problem with gaming to me is that it doesn't like what it is, even to this day. And we've come a long way, man. Like, I'm old, dude, and I've been gaming my whole life. And when I was growing up, it was a waste of time, it was a waste of money. It was something that kids did, and even though I was a kid, it just wasn't looked at something that you should be doing, um, especially in the generation that I grew up in, right? And so there's that stigma that I think is stuck within this industry. And I'm talking, we're like, what, 4 or 5 decades removed from that. Right? I mean, we're talking since like, what, the early 60s or late 60s, early 70s. And then, especially during the Nintendo era, and then Sega came along. I mean, gaming is not the same, most definitely. And it's $1 billion industry. But for some reason, man, the people in this industry just can't let go of it. And I know, look, I'm talking about it right now. So in some aspects, I can't let go of it, but I experienced it personally. And what I'm seeing now is that a lot of people in the gaming industry want to be taken seriously at the Oscars, right? And to me, I don't understand why. I mean, we're two different mediums, um, and even though you can experience both on some level, the audience can, with between watching a movie or television show and playing a game, the gaming is just way more immersive. And that's why, to me, the people who game come at it from different avenues. And now gaming has had to adjust themselves. That's why you have mobile phones. That's why you have indie titles. That's why you have AAA titles. I mean, that's all good, right? It just shows that the industry is healthy because it's providing all kind of content for all kind of different people. Because the people that play games, they're not the gamers that I would consider gamers, right? But everybody pretty much is a gamer. It's become almost cliche, right? And so, as the industry has changed and recognized this, it's sad that they can't recognize that having a AAA title garner praise both outside the industry, but more importantly inside the industry, man. Is not a good thing for them to be focused on. It's not a good thing for the industry, if I'm being perfectly honest, right? And you see that narrative all the time because one of the things, and I can speak to this, especially since I'm on the Xbox side, right? Where Xbox, the narrative is Xbox has no games, right? Or Xbox has no AAA games. Well, it's Xbox has no games. Xbox, then it goes from Xbox has no AAA games to Xbox has no exclusive AAA games. I think that's the way the logic goes, right? In the console world. And one, you're wrong, right? Xbox has games. They have AAA games and they have exclusive AAA games. Now, if you don't like those games, right, that's subjective, right? It's a personal thing, right? Because there's games on other consoles that people talk about it high, and it doesn't appeal to me, right? And then nothing personal, man. It just doesn't. Like maybe it's something I'm not interested in, or when I play the game, it plays in a way that I'm like, okay, well, it's okay, but I mean, I wouldn't spend a lot of time on it, right? Again, subjective, personal choice. Everybody has their own reason for liking something, right? But because the narrative has shifted so much on AAA games, man, it's actually, to me, right, it's causing this issue within the gaming community where people are focused on that so much that they can't see all the other stuff that's out there, right? Like even in the movies, man, you have the Oscars, but you have all the indie titles that people want to watch, or that people watch and they're like, wow, that's a pretty good movie. The stuff that they put on Netflix, maybe you not want to pay $30, or probably where I'm at, like $40 for me and my kids to go watch a movie. Um, you want to get the best, you want to get the best movie experience for that amount of money, and then sometimes it doesn't hit. But if you have it on Netflix, where you only pay like 11, maybe $14 a month, and then you watch a movie, just like I watched Army of the Dead, that was actually pretty good. Zack Snyder did it. Definitely not for the kids. I watched it by myself, but it was an awesome movie, man. To a point where I kind of think, wow, this kind of would have done good in the theaters. It wouldn't have made the big bucks, but it would have. I think it would have broke 100 million because it was fun. It was exciting. It's everything that people liked. And that's kind of a transition again to what I'm saying with the games. Not everybody wants to have a long, drawn-out story. Not everybody wants to explore a big open world. Some people just don't have the time, or some people don't have the attention span, or some people just want to get in and get out. This is why COD, to this day, people are still wondering why COD does so well, man. COD is basically a grab and go, man. It's like a McDonald's Happy Meal, dude. You just drive through, pick up, and then you're on your way. That's what COD is. And of course, it has its base, it has its fans. People put in a lot of time in it and stuff like that. But it's also one of those games that I still play because sometimes I just want to shoot stuff, right? In a video game, man, have mindless entertainment, something to block out, the issues of the day, man, my work and all that kind of stuff, dealing with my kid's school in a pandemic, right? You just want to relax and blow off some steam, and that's easy to do. For some of these AAA titles, man, yeah, great games and stuff like that, but you got to spend some time in that stuff. You know what I mean? That's one of my biggest things. That's why, and again, one of my biases, because that's why I don't put a lot of emphasis on AAA titles, because I don't experience them all the time. I make my time to play Halo. I'm going to make my time to play Fable, the new Fable when it comes out. I'm going to make my time to play the new Gears when that hits, and then the new Forza, right? So from my perspective, as an Xbox guy, right? Xbox does what it needs to do. Right? And then just like on the AAA argument, man, if we're again comparing it to like Oscar-nominated movies, man, these games are not the industry pushers to an extent, right? While everybody's watching, you can enjoy it and enjoy the high art and stuff like that. Marvel at the graphics and marvel at the story and the hours you're going to put into it, which are getting shorter, by the way, right? They're just not, they just by themselves won't be able to push the industry forward. And this is why I love what Microsoft is doing. I know Microsoft realizes that, man. Now, Microsoft has gone out and bought a ton of studios. You're going to see all their games, and I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. But look, the reason why I like it, number one, and this is one of the, well, one and number two, but I'll say this first, is I wanted to just kill this narrative of AAA titles being more important than what they really are. Because if AAA titles were more important than what they really are, then everybody would be making AAA studio games, right? But no, not everybody can. Either they don't have the size, They don't have the resources, and definitely don't have the money, right? And then if these things were making that type of money, man, then that money that the game would sell would have to reach a certain amount. Just like, again, we'll compare it to movies, right? That's why some movies will make 150 million, but then be considered a failure because you got to look at, you know, what the purpose of that movie was, what it means to that studio, like how much money they expected it to make. If it's a franchise, right, they wanted to make 3 or 4 movies, so that gauges if they're going to continue. There's all those kind of factors, and it's the same thing with the game. Right, you put in all that time, money, and effort, man. I mean, look how long it takes for PlayStation to get their exclusive titles, man. And it's the hypocrisy, of course, on the PlayStation side, talking about how great their games are, and that but they're always waiting on that crap, man. Not everybody wants to do that. This is why Game Pass is killing it right now for Microsoft, and because everybody's beginning to realize that, and nobody wants to say it except for us nut job Xbox guys. We see it, us gamers on our side, right? We see it. But then, of course, if you say that, you just hate it. Right? But now you can't. You gotta have that discussion now, man, just because of Game Pass. Right? But not everybody has the resources to make those AAA titles, and if the money was there for the AAA titles, then everybody would have the resources because you're making so much money, right? You're making so much money that you'd have the money to hire more people and to put more quality and more production. Some of these small studios, if it's their choice, should be bigger. Focus Entertainment, all these guys come up with some pretty cool games, right? If they came out with a AAA title, man, and that was a guaranteed 3, 4, 500 million, then they would be making their other AAA titles, and they would grow. That is the nature of the business. But it's not happening, right? It's not happening that way. Right? Look how many studios Sony has shut. Now they get a lot of attention for stuff they're buying now, man. But Sony was like where Microsoft is headed. Well, Microsoft has surpassed them with the amount of money they have and the way they've been buying stuff. But that used to be Sony back in the day. Right? They used to have those studios that they would put out this product and stuff like that. But guess what happened, man? Not everybody was buying the stuff. Like that's one thing you'll notice about the gaming community, especially now, man. They talk a lot of stuff, man, especially on social media. Oh, day one, that's mine, day one. Like, dude, just be honest and say you're not gonna buy it. Not because you don't like it, but maybe you don't have the time, like me. I'll be honest. Like that Biomutant just released. Man, that game looks cool, man. It looks fun. It looks like something that I would enjoy play. And I've read reviews where there's people having problems. I've heard some people I respect say they have problems with the game. Um, I would still get it because the problems they have, I don't initially think I would. I might, but I doubt it. I kind of know what I like the game of. That's why I don't have problems when I buy a game, dude. I've been doing this for long time, guys. I know what I like, what I don't like. And I'm willing to take a risk, man. If it doesn't work out, fine, but it's very rare that it doesn't. Right? The only thing keeping me from playing Biomutant is the other 5 games that I haven't even like I started playing. Look, I have the Yakuza series. I bought the entire series for Xbox. I was kind of bummed that I couldn't get like a collector's edition. That's only for PlayStation, but I was able to buy them all digitally, and I haven't even touched. I've only been playing that one game, Yakuza. What is it? Judgment. Right? And I'm not even, dude. I just got so many games. I got Balan Wonderland. I haven't even played it yet. I mean, I played it, but I'm not even. I got past a couple stages. I need to get back into it. And I get distracted by Game Pass, right? But those are the issues that we should be having, right? And then with this AAA narrative thing, man, it just kills everything. Dude, it's gonna be like the Oscars. I'm telling you, man, where you have all these great movies that win these awards, and everybody's sitting there and goes, "What movie is this? Who is this person? What actor is this?" And then it becomes just like some kind of Hollywood, patting themselves on the back type of award show where nobody knows who these people are and nobody even knows what the movie is. And then when they go and watch it, they're like, what the heck is this kind of stuff? I mean, it's just something they're not into. Because Hollywood makes movies for who Hollywood is now. And the gaming industry, I don't think it'll ever get that way, man, but there's a lot of stuff being passed over because everybody's too focused on AAA titles. And then there's a narrative that only one console and only one company has the AAA title exclusives. Right? And that needs to change, man, because what it is hurting other companies or other games. Case in point, Rise Son of Rome. Absolutely love that game. Not everybody's cup of tea, understand. Not everybody's going to think it's a AAA title, but there was enough in that game that could make it a AAA title, in my opinion. So some people are like, oh, no, we'll downgrade it to a double A. Fine. I just wait for my sequel, which never comes. Why? Because everybody thinks it's a flop. And then what happens? It goes to the Game Pass, then you look at your Xbox Live feed, and everybody's like playing the game. And they're like, wow, this is actually pretty good. This is actually a pretty good game. Is there a sequel? No, there's not a sequel. You know why? Because you guys didn't buy it when it first came out. You guys ran with that narrative that this game sucked, right? Because it wasn't God of War, which you guys didn't get to. I don't know how many years before you guys got that for PlayStation 4, or anyway, right? And that's the danger to me of putting too much emphasis on AAA, man. In fact, I'm just ready for these studios to come out, like I said, because that narrative will die. and I'll happily, dance on his grave, because one of the only reasons why you hear AAA titles is because that's the one thing that people can use against Microsoft. Right? There's a lot of stuff people are using against Microsoft, which I did not believe in, by the way, not just as an Xbox guy, just a gamer in general. Right? I believe none of that crap because I have the system when I play the game, and I've been gaming my whole life. Like I said, were these the AAA best games ever made? Not really, but they don't need to be. Is my point. And when Microsoft Studios starts releasing their stuff, man, this narrative will die, and we can move on like we did. Like they're moving on from everything else that these people have been throwing. Because there's a lot of haters in this community. There's a lot of clickbait artists out there that just want to get their videos shown. There's a bunch of them doing it right now. That's why you're surprised when you see positive Xbox news going on from the media. Some of it's genuine, majority of it's not. That's was Xbox now because of Game Pass. It's the new hotness, right? So everybody's jumping on board, right? Trying to get their clicks in. And then you can see them, right? Because some of them, they'll do like a positive, then they'll come back with a negative on Xbox, right? You can see them trying to play both sides, right? Until one side wins. And if Game Pass hits 50 million, then you know what side it is that's going to win this console generation. Because it's what the normies are. Just like with the Oscars. Again, I'll use that as a point of reference. It's where all the normal people go and watch it, consume entertainment. Because even when you watch, like some people I know don't even like Fast and Furious, man. They're like, that's so trite. And, I stopped watching it for. But yeah, there's people that are still watching it to this day. That's what drives the industry. Right? And then when those guys switch over, like how they switch from 360 to PlayStation 4, right? Because all the bogus BS that was put out there on that launch, on that one E3 in 2013, which we all know is all BS, right? Right? Once that narrative starts to switch, you see it. That's why you see these guys like Amazing Lucas losing his mind. This dude I used to follow, Champ Chong, not hating on the guy, I'm not saying, but he just did a video talking about. You can tell he wants to stay on PlayStation, but he has no choice because all his friends are moving over to 360, right? Because they don't have the same connection to the PlayStation. That's what these PlayStation guys are finding out. That's why they're losing their mind. They're finding out that, oh man, I thought we were the cool kids, and you guys are. Nobody really cares, except guys like us, like a small percentage of us in this industry, especially on social media. Man, if you guys haven't figured out, social media is just full of crap. Just open your eyes. Right? And then one thing I love about Microsoft is doing is it seems like their eyes are open, and it seems like they realize that it's bad, and that they're trying to cover all their bases, which is smart. That's the aspect of Microsoft being a $1 trillion company, right? They're smart. They're trying to cover all their bases, right? But I think they see the tea leaves. It's like if certain things were the way people say they were in our gaming community, then certain things would have happened, right? You would have had, again, my instance, like Rise Center 2, why I don't have a Sunset Overdrive 2 is beyond me. Or like some of these other studios wouldn't be closing. Indie studios wouldn't be rising up as much, right? Because there's usually alternative, I don't want to use the word black market, but there's alternative medium that crops up in the event that something like this happens. And Microsoft I say they're on that edge. They see what's going on, and that's why they're doing what they're doing and making the moves that they do. And then ultimately, for me, with these single-player AAA games that Microsoft's coming up with, because all the studios they got, it's just Game Pass. Again, it's just another reason to buy Game Pass. And I think that's the most important thing. Don't count on the people that tell you they're going to buy your game, man, because a lot of them are going to own it. I mean, there's people that are buying. I'm talking day one buy. Right, like Ebot, the world's most powerful gamer, made a great point of this on one of his videos where he talked about, where you buy the game, where the real money is made is in that first couple week window, right, where people are paying full price for it. But if you notice, right, a lot of these games drop as the months go on. They hit a certain plateau, they hit their peak, and then you start seeing the prices drop. And then, of course, because they got to compete with places like GameStop where people are selling their stuff back in. And those are, look, dude. This is why I kind of don't listen. This is why I hang out with my boy Ebot. That's why we do podcasts together. He's nice enough to come on my channel. Because this dude does that. He keeps his finger on the pulse, man. A lot of people are not on the pulse, man. They just follow a lot of clickbait crap. Listen to what other people say. Like some of these big YouTubers out there just talking their trash. Right? And all they want to do is get the view from you and get a click from you and hopefully a subscription. But that if you're a gamer, man, it doesn't serve you to listen to people like that, man. It's not going to help you at all. It's not, they don't have your best interest at heart. And now look, I'm just a small channel, a dude out here just kind of venting about it. But, I'll be honest with you. And like I said, once Microsoft drops that, it'll kill the narrative. And most importantly, the number one reason why is because of Game Pass. You know, I've been preaching the gospel of Game Pass on my channel. I absolutely love it. And the reason why is not just because, look, it's not just being about an Xbox guy. Even though I think since Microsoft put in the work and they're doing it right, that they should be the ones to lead the charge forward going into this new world of digital gaming. You know, the subscription service, you know, the Netflix of gaming, everybody calls it. You know, and I'll do a video talking about some of the pitfalls. Like I'll do a video, I'll just start doing videos on Game Pass in general. There's a lot I want to talk about because there's some stuff that I see Microsoft needs to kind of focus on from my perspective. You know, I'm not an insider, dude. I don't work in the industry, right? My perspective is from a pop culture perspective. I'm a guy who consumes media, right? I've been doing it, you know, my entire life in whatever shape or form, right? And there's some things that I hope that they keep in mind when moving forward. But with them doing Game Pass, again, if Game Pass, if, I just would be, dude, if I want to know like where they are right now. Because if they're at 30, was it a couple, about a month and a half ago, they were at 23, supposedly 25. If they could be at 30, right, that would be a great sign, or close to 30, as far as progressing forward. Because the more they progress, right, if the numbers stay constant like this, dude, they'll hit 50 million by the end of the year. And I'm hoping they hit 50 million. Dude, I'd be happy for 40, right? And I'm saying, you know, anything would be great. That's not my point. My point is so that moving forward, right, it'll solidify that they're on the right track. It'll also help them increase what Game Pass has the potential to be. Because what you're looking at Game Pass now is it's not even close to where it can be. But it's great. I'm telling you, man. Microsoft is doing everything they need to do. Talked about the Bethesda purchase on this channel with my boy Hebot, right? We talked about that in in great detail. But it was a game changer, man. It was a huge game changer, man. It let people know that Microsoft is serious. Not just about, not serious just for the consumers, man, but serious with their Game Pass, which is good for the consumers, right? They put a lot of time, energy into it. So for me, because of the way they're doing it, man, and because they're so consumer friendly, which they are, they can't afford to be, right, because of all the crap they get. That's the only great thing that came out of all this hate that Microsoft got. It caused them to retool, refocus. Um, Again, I didn't have any problem with them in 2013. But I mean, as for the general public, I guess, you know, made them look at themselves a little bit more closer and they come up with alternative ways to win back the people's trust, which they've been trying so hard to do. For me, doing it a little bit too hard. There's times I just want to, if I was in Phil, I'd be like, look, you know what, man, let them eat cake. Let them eat cake. They'll come back. They'll be here. But, you know, Phil's not like that, and that's why he's the head of Microsoft and not me or anybody else. That just would have went the nuclear option, right? You need somebody like Phil in there to see everything through, which he has done. So kudos to him again. I know I praise him a lot on his channel, but you know, it's out of respect. Again, I don't agree with him 100% of the time, um, but I'm definitely in the 90% of the time now. I mean, he definitely earned my trust, man. I mean, this guy has put in the work, especially built the relationships, man. So when he tells me about Japan, I don't know how big that's going to be. Um, you know, but I believe him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. How about that? Right. And again, with Game Pass, why wouldn't you? I mean, this is huge. This is a big deal. Anyway, I know this video ran really long. You know, I meant to only do this for a couple minutes, but as you know on my channel, I start rambling, and this is where we are. So I can't change that, to be perfectly honest with you guys. I just speak what's on my mind. That's the thing about this channel. I don't need to be the biggest YouTube channel. I don't care if I'm the biggest YouTube channel. Like I said in my other videos, I am pretty much a cog in this wheel, and I don't mind being that cog, right? To me, it's just there's other people out there doing this as well, and I just want to have my little piece to help promote it, man. Especially when it comes to gaming, and especially when it comes to Xbox, man, because they've got such a raw deal, and it's a good time right now, man. Just kind of be wary about some of these dudes, like I said, you know, they're flip floppy, right? You know, they're playing the numbers, they're choosing the sides. They haven't picked a side yet. They're trying to determine where everything's going to land. I know a lot of them will say like, well, you know, when you look, look at things honestly. Trust me, it's all about the clicks, man. You know, and you'll be able to tell, man. They'll start off positive. You look, just watch their content, dude. Just keep an eye on the content, how it fluctuates, and it'll fluctuate with the news of the day. That's always a big sign, right? Or something bad, like a big news releases, like in the case of Microsoft, Sony, right? They had that the game. They just had that event for their game, Zero Dawn. The one with the girl everybody's saying is fat now. You know, that's sad. I feel bad because I know they had something like that. I know it was about the game, but the only thing I hear online is just that I guess they made her overweight, or she looks overweight. Maybe something for inclusion, you know, and then that steps on a whole nother um that goes into a whole nother. Yeah, I can do a whole nother video on that, the straight up beef stuff. Which is why, people don't know this, man. This is why Shoney's getting so much crap even from Japan, because people in Japan don't like that kind of crap, dude. If you guys didn't know, Japan actually has the predominant race in Japan is Japanese. I don't know if you guys knew that. Right, they're basically homogenous there. Right, it's like 97 point. I say 90. I'm being nice. 97.5. I would go 99.9. Right, they have their own culture. They have their own belief system. Right, and then Sony's trying to cater to our Western market, right? Which I know it's not sitting well with them over there. And it's not that they, I hear some people say that it's racism. It's not nothing to do with racism, man. It's cultural. Right? I mean, if you don't cater to them, why would they buy? That's just the way it is. Now, if you give them something they like or something that's so niche that they have to have it, right? Then they'll buy it. Trust me. Right? That's how it is. And I think that's what Phil Spencer is doing. Hopefully, he's reading the tea leaves and how things operate over there, and then he'll give them a product that they just can't pass, and that's why you see them pushing so hard for not just Game Pass the way we have it. For some of you guys out there, it's like, why do we focus so much on mobile? Let's get the games, let's get this stuff, let's get it on our console. No, they're forward thinking. They have to be forward thinking. Sorry about the dog, guys. They have to be forward thinking. And if they're looking at the Japanese market, man, they're looking at the mobile market. So that's why they're pushing so hard for this. I was in that beta program. I was gonna do a video on it. Sorry, I didn't. I'll still probably do it. Because I wanted to give my perspective on it, because of how because of like basically where I live, and I actually have an Apple phone and I have an Android phone. So I think it just gives a perspective that nobody else has ever put out there. I'll still do that for you guys. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's been enough time. Shout out to all of the guys in the Xbox community, keeping it down. Shout out to the dudes who still rock out with me, subscribers, as well as people who support me in the community. I know it's kind of hard because a lot of you guys who follow, and I've had people message me this, who follow me on social media knows my political leanings. They know, the stuff that I post. If they don't agree with it, but they still rock out with me, and that's cool. And if you don't rock out with it, that's fine too. I mean, that's your choice. I'm just letting you guys know I ain't gonna change, man. I've been this way my entire life. In fact, you'll see a lot of changes on my channel referring to that. Something that I wanted to do for a while. I just haven't had the time to really put into play. I'm still working with different stuff. I'm using StreamYard. Um, Kind of good, kind of bad. Right now, I'm just doing a screen capture thing with Microsoft. Um, that's why I'm doing this video now. And hopefully, I'll be able to put more production in it. I don't know. We'll see. Moving forward, guys. Anyway, I'm just gonna wrap up the video now. Let me know what you guys think down below on the channel. Host take it forever. We out.